What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/IDOWorkHereLady. Now, in today's first story, an entitled Karen comes into a shop during its special opening hours in the morning when only high-risk people can go and shop. Now, when Karen sees a young employee who has been working overnight stocking shelves in that store and is on their way out, they get very, very angry at this poor person, not realizing that actually this person does work there and is allowed to be there during the special opening hours. Guys, before we jump into that though, if you are new around here, please do consider hitting the subscribe button if you do go on to enjoy these stories. I'm trying to hit 600,000 by the end of 2020 and it's going to be close. So yeah, if you are new around here, hit the button. It is completely free, of course, and you can always unsubscribe later if you don't enjoy my videos. But yeah, with that all being said, let's jump into this crazy story. Yelled at by customer at work. This happened to me in March of this year, just as the lockdown started and many stores had started having special shopping hours for elderly and high-risk customers. I worked at a grocery store on the overnight stock crew, and my shift ended at the same time the special hours started. I would frequently pick up items I needed at the end of my shift before heading home. On this particular morning, we had finally gotten a shipment of toilet paper and cleaning wipes in. I picked up a 12-pack of the cheapest toilet paper in the store and a canister of Clorox wipes for my mum, who is high risk. I was not wearing my black work polo because I was 7 months pregnant and it didn't fit, so I was allowed to wear a plain black t-shirt instead. I picked up a few food items and headed for the register. I ended up in line behind an older woman. She said very pointedly to the cashier, who is a friend of mine, that we needed to be more strict on the elderly and high-risk guidelines. She looked straight at me as she said it. She said we needed to have a guard at the door to make sure that no one was coming in during the special hours, except those that actually needed to shop at those times. At our store, it was from 7 AM to 8 AM every day. She also said that if the store lets other people in to shop, they should make sure that they don't buy the essentials that other people need, looking at the toilet paper and Clorox wipes in my hands. Now, my co-worker is an elderly woman, and she is not shy. She's a spitfire and she'll tell you what she thinks and doesn't give two dangs about what you think. She looks straight at the woman and says, "There is a limit on essential items. You can't buy 2 packs of toilet paper." The customer had 2 of the biggest packs of toilet paper we sold. We're talking 18 rolls. The woman snapped at her with a, "Fine, whatever, but I'm not coming in here if you're going to keep letting other people in during the special hours. I want to speak to a manager." Bet you guys didn't see that one coming. My co-worker calls the manager on duty, which happens to be my manager on the overnight crew. He comes up and this woman goes off, yelling about how we're letting regular people shop during the special hours, how the cashier was rude and was limiting her, etc. Full on Karen. My manager looks at me and can see that I'm irritated. He looked at the customer and straight up said, "I would like for you to leave." She got angry and asked why she should be the one to leave when she was clearly following the rules of the shopping hours, and I was not. He said, and I'll never forget this for the rest of my life, "This customer you are harassing is my best employee. She just finished working a 9-hour shift to fill these shelves so that you could come in to buy your essentials. She is picking up a few items after her shift. And on top of that, you're harassing a pregnant woman who is considered high risk, and she has as much of a right to shop during these hours as you do. She is exhausted, and she's scared because of the pandemic, but she comes in every night, works extra hours, and busts her butt so people like you can come in and talk down to her. You can leave now, and you're welcome to stay out." And he walked away. She tried to stammer an apology at me and ask about my baby, when I was due, what I was having, etc. when the loss prevention guy showed up to escort her out. I ignored her and picked up one of her packs of toilet paper instead of the 12-pack I had grabbed. I checked out my items and was on my way while the loss prevention guy took her picture and made notes that she was banned from the store for 30 days for harassing an employee. Yeah, I guess the moral of this story, guys, is that you never really know if someone is high risk or not. Just because they're not old or just because, they're not pregnant, maybe she didn't know you were pregnant, whatever, it doesn't mean that someone's not high risk. Or maybe, as you said, OP, you were buying for someone who is high risk, your mum, who's elderly. So yeah, I guess just don't presume until you really know is the moral of this story. But I kind of get a little bit what this woman was saying. Obviously, this Karen did not go about it in the right way. She should have been way more polite than just going mental at you and the staff. But I get what she was saying, and that it is important to respect these special hours so that elderly people who are high risk, get the stuff that they do need and deserve. It was just unfortunate for her that OP, you'd been working all night stocking the shelves and you were just on your way out, and yeah, she happened to get annoyed at you. But yeah, I kind of see what she was saying. Do you know what I mean, guys? I'm being a little bit, lenient with this woman, but I kind of understand where she was coming from. She's probably tired as well. She's probably scared of going out in the pandemic. But yeah, no need to be overly aggressive in this one is my overall point, I think. Now moving on to our second story. She does work here, lady. She just doesn't get paid. While this is not the typical retail horror story, I thought you might enjoy it here anyway. I'm a retired veteran and have been for more than 20 years, making this story just about 3 decades old. Usual disclaimers for the passage of time and my failing memory, but I'll do my best. Thank you. I'm in civilian government service these days, but back then I was a technical sergeant in the healthcare administration field. I've been assigned to the base hospital's outpatient records office as the non-commissioned officer in charge, not long before these events transpired, and we were short-staffed due to Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm, so we were busy. This was long before the days of electronic medical records. These were good, old-fashioned, coloured folders, chock full of all your appointment notes and test results, all filed on shelves, lots and lots of shelves. What with active duty personnel, their family members, and local retirees and their spouses, there are about 44,000 of them. If you scheduled an appointment more than 24 to 48 hours in advance, we would pull your record the night before and send it to your provider's clinic. Otherwise, you had to come see us yourself to sign out your record before you could be seen. It was a weekday, early to mid-morning I think, and we had a long line of patients at our service window. I was on duty along with 2 to 3 junior enlisted workers and RL, a very nice lady. We were dodging each other in the narrow aisles and pulling records as quickly as we could. It wasn't quick enough for IK though, inpatient Karen, who, RL, the records lady, was helping. I was near the window checking a patient's eligibility when the impatient Karen sighed like the air brakes on a bus pulling up to the curb. A moment later, she starts whining. "What is taking so long?" Then, "This is stupid. I can't believe this." And, "What's wrong with her?" Waiting in line is rarely fun, and is much less so when you or your children are sick, so I get it. I stepped up and I told the Karen I'd check on her record and be right with her. I found the records lady in the aisle, looking at the shelves with confused frustration, and I understood the delay. Now, my colleague, the records lady, had suffered a traumatic brain injury some years before, and while she didn't have any major deficits or disabilities, she occasionally had trouble processing numbers. Our records were organised using a terminal digit system, based on the first 2 digits of the last 4 digits of the service member's social security number. This could be challenge enough for the lady if she was in a rush. Being under the pressure of a foul-tempered Karen did not help. I suggested she take a break in the back, found the record, and took it to the service window. "Here you go, Mom. I'm sorry about the wait." "Finally, you need to get rid of that woman. I can't believe she actually gets paid to work here." Each exclamation point, by the way, there was accompanied by an increase in not just volume, but also venom. "I should complain to your commander." I wondered how in the heck this woman could not see and understand the difference between my colleague record lady's uniform and mine. I was wearing BDUs, battle dress uniform, and she was wearing street clothes with an apron. Mine was woodland camo and her apron was white with some red trim, maybe pink too, and a conspicuous red cross smack dab in the middle of it, as in the American Red Cross. So, I hand the impatient Karen her record and say, "I understand your frustration, and again, I'm sorry for the wait. But while she, the records lady, does work here, she's a Red Cross volunteer. She doesn't get paid for helping you. Not one dime. However, I'll forward your concerns to my commander, and I'll send a copy to your husband's commander as well, as a professional courtesy, of course." She went pale, realizing that she may have just gotten her husband into trouble. She drank her big steaming cup of STFU and walked the walk of shame to her appointment without another word. Just as I promised, I wrote up the incident for my commander, who actually contacted the impatient Karen's husband, clued in my first sergeant, and CC'd the hospital patient advocates, just in case. I never heard anything further. Not long after that, I worked with the Red Cross coordinator to find the records lady another volunteer position, one where she wouldn't be subjected to that kind of treatment, something that also better suited her talents. She really was a nice, generous lady, and I didn't want to see her volunteer efforts wasted, thanks to some self-centered Karen's abusiveness. Oh man, I feel so bad with stories like this, because yes, this person technically is an employee, but they're not getting any money. They're volunteering their time just for you to come in, Karen, and just be like abusive to them and ultimately really disrespectful and ruin their day when they don't even have to be there. Like, they're literally gaining nothing being there in terms of a monetary value. They're just giving their time to help. Oh, it's such a shame. And yes, Karen didn't know, but that's no excuse, right? You can't just be horrible to an employee. Like in the first story, you can't just be horrible to a customer. You can't just be horrible to an employee. You don't know why they're there or why they're in a certain position. I guess the thing with both these stories is don't presume because, or don't assume because it makes an ass out of you and me. And by you and me, I don't mean you and me. You watching and me speaking. I mean you and me, other people. Yeah, it would never be us, don't worry. Anyway, it's a shame, isn't it? It's just a shame that people act this way, because why not just, go in with a little bit, a bit more kindness and say, like, I'm really sorry, I am in a rush, but can I get these things because, my kid's sick, I've got to go and do this, I've got to do whatever. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Oh, I just feel bad for this woman. And yes, she has been moved to probably a better position for her because she does not deserve this. But imagine what this would do to your self-esteem, getting abused when you're volunteering. It's not even like you're getting paid and you hate your job, you're volunteering. Oh, it's sad, but I hope she has a better position now is all I can say. One that she at least enjoys more than this rubbish. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/IDOWorkHereLady. I really hope you have enjoyed this one. If you did and you want more videos from this subreddit that I've made, check them all out here in this lovely collated playlist. If you are new to my channel, as I said, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on, because I'm posting double daily. That means twice a day throughout the month of December. And also, if you would like some lovely merch for, the Christmas months, I've got some t-shirts, some hoodies to keep you warm, and that is down here as well. And it massively supports me and my channel. So yeah, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you later. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow for Christmas Day. Oh, the mic. Why is it like that? Who cares?